Hi, this is Stewart Scothorn with the Annuity Link. How do you protect your retirement income from any downturn that you're going to see within the market? I guess my first qualification on that would be most everybody that's in retirement has some exposure to the market. And when we talk about the market, it's really what market, what part of the market are you in, and what risk profile do you really have? Those are the things that you kind of need to be focused on when you talk about the market, because there are products out there that can insulate you from the market. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're looking at trying to create income that you're going to live the rest of your life on based on fluctuations that happen in the market, it's not that it can't and isn't done. It's just that there's a level of risk that goes along with that. What I would want to at least have a discussion with somebody is, let's talk about your appetite for risk, because there are different levels of investments. If someone's 100% confident and comfortable in investing in Bitcoin or some security that's just being put out and they don't care whether or not they lose their money, I'm not sure that that's either gambling or an investment, but there are people that are comfortable doing that. On the other hand, there are people that literally want to know nobody's ever going to touch this money. There's that group of difference in terms of calling it market. So identifying where you're at, and by the way, let me just say this, there's nothing wrong with either one of those investments, by the way. It's just allocations to make sure you don't put all your eggs over here in an investment that was really risky and you lost everything. And a lot of times that's what people are thinking they can make up because they lost. And that's when that gambling does take over. But if you have a strategy on the front end, and the earlier you can get involved in saying this is what I would like to have in terms of income, and you have identified this is what I can live the rest of my life on, then that formula is something that can be solved by people like me that'll just say, here's what we would recommend. I would encourage you to go ahead and review what is it, number one, that I really want to go ahead and have to live that income. I've identified the amount. Now you need to identify what sources that you have that you're pulling from, and then really what level of risk are you anticipating? Because if you really don't have the ability to take a bunch of risk, or you do, even if you do, I'd say you want to have a little bit of that lockbox approach set aside anyway. All of those are very pertinent questions. And so what I would want you to do is review a couple of things just yourself. What's your risk profile? What do you feel like you can take in terms of risk? Are you really aggressive, or are you somebody that's extremely conservative? And then even if you are super aggressive, you're going to run into people like me that said there's a rainy day someplace. Make sure that you have it. Those are things that when a market correction takes place, you don't necessarily have to participate. That's my idea. May not be everybody's, but I would encourage people to review that and look at that. And that way, when you're looking at, hey, I want to have this much income every year for the rest of my life, you can solve that equation, and that becomes something that somebody like me can look at and say, wow, I think that's something that we can work on. So what I would like you to do is just kind of review, what's your risk profile, and what's really the amount that you think that you can live the rest of your life on, and let's go ahead and solve that equation. To stay up to date with all things retirement, like and follow for more great content.